I'm your idol, your highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I'm speaking so that you know and understand. I got the gift to speech. All right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. But anyway, I heard that some folks were interested in learning about Nike and how to purchase a share of stock. So here I am, Gun Wealth Management. We expected or decided rather to make a quick video letting folks know how you could go about purchasing your first share, not just of Nike, but anything for that matter. And hopefully you'll learn a couple of things as to whether or not it's even a good investment to begin with. But first, let me tell you what we'll cover today. Opening your first brokerage account. That's boss. Like Jay-Z said, right? What's better than throwing dollars in a strip club? Credit. Investing is even better. So basic stock market math. Placing your first trade. Breaking spirits of lack and poverty, or poverty and lack. So let's go ahead and get started, right? Because I have to get home to the family and have dinner with the little ones. So what is investing? So investing is, this is just a textbook or definition. So the act of committing money or capital to an endeavor with the expectation of obtaining an additional income or profit. Yes, you invest money with the expectation of making money or profit. That is the goal. So remember, it is long term though. But first, let's look at some stock market basics to get you on your way. So what is a stock when we're talking about stock market basics? So stock is one of many types of investments. If you own stock in a company, you own a piece of the company. Each piece of stock is called a share. If you own even one share of stock, you are a shareholder or owner of the company. I always tell this story about my kids loved McDonald's. My girls loved McDonald's growing up. I loved it as well, but I can tell you I can't even pay them to go to McDonald's. But there's this one example where a young lady at the drive-thru was not so nice. And I asked to speak to the manager, and I did this intentionally in front of the girls. And I explained to the manager that the cashier at the front did not have what we expect as an attitude. And I was a shareholder and owner of his location. As a shareholder, yes, you're owners of every single McDonald's location. So the manager looked at me and said, oh, whoa, wow. But I explained to him that as a shareholder, that we expect better service from employees to our customers. And not only that, that I needed him to cut the grass because it was not a good look on the brand either. And I did this all in front of the girls, and they're at this point just tucked back under the seat like, oh my God, Dad, you're embarrassing us. But to prove the point to them, when we came back later on that day for ice cream cones, guess what? That same young lady had a smile on her face. She was much more pleasant, and even more importantly, the grass was cut. But you have that kind of power when you're a shareholder. Some folks, especially people of color, have brand loyalty but zero brand ownership. But I'm hoping with this information today, we can change that in your life. So this is a little twist for you, but it definitely plugs or plays directly into what I'm talking about. So which one of these guys is your favorite? Right? Which one of these presidents is your favorite? Is it President Bush? I don't think it should be. Two left. How about President Obama? Don't think so. The only president that matters when you're an investor is the one currently in office. I hate to break the news to you, but yes, that is a fact. Under President Bush, what was his goal? We all knew that President Bush, his focus was oil, right? So we invested tons in oil companies and made really good money. Under President Obama, what was his signature legislation? Have anything to do with health care? Of course it did. Obamacare, right? The Affordable Care Act. So what happened to healthcare companies over President Obama's 8 years? Exactly. Now, under President Trump, right? What's his motto? Make America great again, right? People are always talking about stay woke. Stay woke isn't, what you believe it is. Being woke is understanding what's happening in the economy and profiting from it. If you're not making money under every single presidential cycle, then you're asleep. You're far from woke. So get rid of all of the distractions that people would like you to focus on and follow the money. All right, leave everything else at the door. So, when we talk about investing, it's very simple, as I just mentioned, in following what presidential cycles would tell you to do. But under President Trump, I failed to mention, you know, make America great. And what does that mean? It means roads, bridges, infrastructure. What is that going to need? All types of things to get that accomplished, but I won't get into the specifics of that now. I'll come back to it in my next video as to what Make America Great again really means in President Trump's mind and how you can make money from it. But when we talk about investing, and I'll call this portion Stock Market 101, which is why you're tuning in, just open up your eyes and look around. Most of us know what this is, right? It's a box of baking soda. If you're like me, growing up in South Central Los Angeles, my mother made us use this for absolutely everything, from brushing teeth to deodorant. And she even cleaned around the house with it, cooked with it, all types of things. So imagine brushing your teeth, knowing that mom uses the same thing to clean toilets. But baking soda, it's quite handy. How many of you have ever paid attention to the company that makes baking soda? The company's name is Church & Dwight, and the ticker symbol is CHD, Charlie, Harry, David. And I'll come back to that in a second. But this little Arm & Hammer is in just about everything, right? Almost like seeing made in China on everything. Arm & Hammers and everything. But what else do they make at Church & Dwight? OxyClean. Probably didn't know that. What else? I see this in my cabinet quite a bit. Little Critters. Vitamins for kids. Did you know that Church & Dwight made vitamins for kids? This one will shock you, I'm sure. So hold on to your seats. Yeah, the same company that makes Arm & Hammer baking soda, yes, makes Trojan also. So you've learned something already today. So pay attention. If you want to find your initial stock to invest in, take a quick tour around your kitchen. All right, and look on the backs of these products and see who the manufacturer is. And once you have that manufacturer's name, then we'll go into the next section. But first, before we get there, here's some ideas of things that you might see around the house. Pop-Tarts, right? Most of you brush your teeth, right? You'll have some Colgate-Palmolive, Irish Spring, Cheez-Its, all types of things around the house. But to trade stocks, you don't need a supercomputer. All you need is a cell phone. So pull out your cell phones and work with me just for a second here. We'll be done in a couple of minutes. And sorry, my face is like looking at monitors on this side, and I'm trying to press the button on the keyboard at the same time. So what is this? Steps 1, 2, 3 for picking stocks. Do me a favor, take your phone, go to your web browser and put in cnbc.com. All right. So once you've gone to cnbc.com, you'll have a search field in the upper right hand corner, right? I've heard all this talk about Nike and people wanting to join this social movement. Probably not the best investment idea to follow social movements, but with a little bit of knowledge, you can determine whether or not an investment makes sense to add to your portfolio. But doing things because you like a company's backing of a particular athlete or any social cause, I would caution you to not do that. But first, check the numbers. All right. And if that lines up, then hey, have a look at it. and you should always have some sort of financial plan and be able to speak with a financial advisor. But if you're just getting started out, um, you don't need to hire a big name broker or a planner. Some or most people can just start out on their own. I would encourage you to get at least an initial consultation and get pointed in the right direction. And of course, gunwealthmanagement.com will be glad to help people. But anyway, so in that top right hand corner, you're going to put in NKE. That's Nancy Kite Edward. That's a ticker symbol. And ticker, of course, comes from the ticker tape back in the day where they used to print out the stock quotes and so forth through a machine. Clearly, we're way past that now, and you can just put in a ticker symbol and information will come up. If you don't know or didn't know that Nike's ticker symbol was NKE, you could literally just type in the name of the company and it will tell you the ticker symbol is NKE if you're at CNBC.com. But once you're on this screen, I want you to take a look at there's a bunch of financial or ratios and numbers at the bottom of the page. Find PE ratio. So tell me what the PE ratio is for Nike, right? And what is PE ratio? That stands for price to earnings ratio. It's very basic math, which you would have never guessed, but if you take the price of the stock and divide it by the earnings, which you will find the earnings under earnings per share, which is EPS on that same page, you're good to go. So you're just going to divide the price by the earnings per share, and it's going to give you the PE ratio, price divided by earnings. All right, cooking with gas. So this is what we talked about. Most of you know this stand by Mr. Kaepernick taken, whether you agree with it or not, or decide to invest in Nike or not invest in Nike. And for the record, I do not invest in Nike. But it could work for some of you, so I will just try to point you in the right direction. So, but let's have a look at Nike. So here's some. Yeah, every day I'm hustling, right? Every day you will be hustling if you pay attention to making your money work for you instead of just working for your money. But the third type of person in the world, outside of number one, people who work for their money, number two, people that make their money work for them, the third, people who make other people's money work for them, then you're a real boss. But anyway, we're talking about some of these ratios. So here at the bottom of the screen, we have a PE, a price to earnings ratio of 30, pretty much. So if we look, let's see here, if we look at the price of 75 and we divide that by the earnings per share of $2.51, we'll get a PE of 30.19. Got it? Real simple. But what I want you to pay attention to is look at my red arrow in the middle of the screen. The price of Nike in December of 1985 was 22 cents. I was so happy that year that I'd saved enough money from cutting grass around the neighborhood that I was able to go and buy my first pair of Jordans, the very first year they came out, I believe. So I brought the ones. Those same sneakers today, even worn, and with the close to 30 years that I've had them, right? Guess what? They're worth about $5,000 for my used Jordans. So I'm keeping them in the safe deposit box for my son, but you would think that was a great investment. I think it was. However, if I had taken that same $100 and purchased shares of Nike at 22 cents, once you look at the compounding and the dividend reinvestment and the stock splits and so forth and the overall appreciation of that $100, you probably, and I haven't done this with my handy dandy HP 12C calculator, but my just quick math in my head, so don't hold me to it, but I'm venturing to say that the stock price or the value of my $100 from 1985 to today would be close to $50,000. $50,000. So how do you like that? Look at that arrow. So people talk about, oh, I'm afraid to lose money in the stock market. Then don't invest. I can guarantee you, because you'll make a short-term decision when the market goes up and down, and you see tons of ups and downs over that period. But the arrow, I use the arrow to make a simple point, is just to look at the trend line. Although it had many ups and downs, the overall trend, if you have more than 10 and 20 years to wait, good companies, for the most part, will go up, right? So, that's Nike. So this Christmas, I would encourage you. We all love shoes and being pretty, right? I know that's most of y'all. I'm through with Jordans. I don't buy anymore. I got the first pair. That's it. But my kids, by God, they love them. Of course, that's the hot thing around school. Sorry about that background noise, but I'm in the office. So instead of just buying Nike for the kids, how about this? Here's where we get into breaking the spirits of poverty and lack. When you have kids that graduate from kindergarten or what have you, give them or invest a share of their favorite stock, or give them a share of their favorite stock and make an investment into their future, and talk to them about it. And like, if you have a plan to go to Disney World, why not go to the shareholders meeting in Florida? Or go to Disney and have your kids understand that they own those roller coasters and those Mickey Mouses and all that other stuff when they go there, and see what that does to them as far as their confidence, their overall mentality, and moving to brand ownership, which is what I talked about earlier. But, planting the seed of ownership goes a long way, and it's time that generational cycles of our, I guess, perpetual poverty. This is how those cycles are broken. So this Christmas, and I'm making this video on November 12th, by the way, of 2018. So you still have time to purchase a share in a company that your kids like, whether it's Home Depot, whether it's Pepsi, whether it's Nike, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Amazon. You have to pick your weight up for Amazon, right? But there are many companies out there that you can invest in. I'm in Delaware, so a local, maybe you want your kids to own their own bank. It can happen. There's a small community bank in my area by the name of WSFS, WSFS. If you want to learn how to send your kids to a bank shareholder meeting and meet with multimillionaires and billionaires, get at your boy. Let's do it. All right. Who knows who this young lady is in this video? So by focusing on making your money work for you, here's what can happen. We all know what money can do for you, right? You remember old Harpo, right? Harpo then came a long way. That's what money can do for you, right? So learn to invest, make your money work. Let's change your life starting with today. What do we have next? So some of you might be saying, hey, that's all sounds great and gravy. It's a few minute video, so don't expect to be a stock market genius just yet. And give me a second. I'm going to come back to something else and walk you through placing a trade through an actual brokerage account. So give me 1 second. I'm going to get there. But maybe you want some help with doing this. You don't have a large amount of money, but you would like to read materials and you'd like to know what I'm thinking even on a month to month. I'm putting out a newsletter at the beginning of the year of 2019 called The Smoking Gun, where I will share what's happening in the global economy, different things happening, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's the cannabis trade with marijuana stocks, even down to the plain vanillas, whether it be the blue chips and airlines and the basic stocks, which is more than likely where you want to start the pyramid of your investment cycle. Um, but I will put that out just to help you. So, as I tie up the keynote part of this, reminded of Dr. King and his dream, right? Dream, but if you look at Dr. King's dream and break it down into an acronym, Dr. King didn't want us just to dream, right? Because dream stands for what? Don't really expect any money. Don't expect any money. All right? If all you do is dream, you must take the dream to paper. So don't just think it, ink it. Write down the reasons why you're investing and what you're trying to accomplish with that, whether it's sending a kid to college, buying a dream home one day, living on some island or traveling the world, whatever it is, write it down and always pull that out when you're faced with a decision to buy or sell any particular company. All right. Next, I want to tell all you folks who might be interested in the world of investing that guess what? At Gun Wealth Management, we're expanding. So we're hiring. If you're intrigued by the stock market, or you like helping people live the lives that they want, and that gets you excited, please give us a call. We're easy to find, gunwealthmanagement.com. So let's close out of this for 1 second. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. All right. So let's come here for a moment. So this is what a brokerage account looks like. This side here. Actually, let me close this out. Let me just minimize that. So here's what a brokerage account looks like. Let me change this order, clear this all out. So this is TD Ameritrade. So tdameritrade.com. So go to tdameritrade.com and go through the process of setting up a new account. So once you set up a new account and you log in, you're going to go to not research and ideas, but let's go to trade. So let's hit trade, right? Come on, trade. Oh boy, my internet connection is not very good here now. Or maybe it's logged me out since I was doing that other video. So give me a second here. Okie dokie. So I created this account here just to place a trade and show you guys what's going on. I did buy some shares of, well, I can't tell you the shares that I bought because then the regulators will be all over me. But let's say, for instance, so we wanted to, I told you about Nike. So we come up here, you know absolutely nothing. So you want to put in Nike. All right. So you just put in the name Nike. And then you come here and you click on it. And voila. Here we go. So Nike was 75.48 was the last trade. All right, the closing price was 75.20. Right? So disregard all of this stuff for right now. Except for, remember, we talked about a PE ratio. And generally, I like PEs that are under 30. So this one just made it. I'm really happy if it's under 20 and 15. So Nike is, right on that line. But anyway, we want to get you to placing a trade. So you're going to come here. You're going to click buy. This little screen pops up at the bottom. Buy. So only thing you're really paying attention to is you're going to see here. It's going to say action. It's going to say buy or sell. Clearly, self-explanatory. We're buying shares. Let's just say, for instance, 10 shares in the quantity, right? The stock is Nike. The ticker symbol we talked about is NKE, Nancy Kite Edward. The type of order that you're going to place, there are going to be multiple things here. trailing stop dollar amount, trailing stop percentage, stop limit, stop market, and then market. All right, I want you to click market order. What that means is you're not goofing off or playing around. You want the stock at the next available price, right? And pretty much on this side, I want you to make sure that you have day order, which means that it's good for the day. Now the market's closed at this point. It's 5 o'clock. I'm heading home, just making this quick video. But if you put this order in, it will go live tomorrow at 9:30 when the market opened, and it would be available till 4 when the market closed. But more than likely, if you put a market order in for Nike, you will be filled within seconds because a lot of people trade Nike. But so then after you have this portion filled in, we have the buy, 10 shares. Nike is the company. The order type is market. Good for the day. We're going to click here, review order. All right. Now, we're going to review and make sure that you always review the order. If you don't have time to do this and get it right, don't do it. All right. Wait until you have time, or call a broker or financial advisor and allow them to do it for you. It's worth the extra money. But here we go. So to review your order, you're going to read out loud to yourself. I'm buying 10 shares of NKE, Nike common stock. At the market, an estimated total of $755.90. Over to the right, you're going to see last $75.20 to $75.23. The ask is $75.59. If you like all of this on the left, and this is exactly what you wanted, make sure that you have that buy and the number of shares right. If you like that, then you're going to just come over here, boom, click place order, bam, and you're done. All right, hopefully you understand. That is my quick little place your first purchase of shares. If you like this video, I will make more of them, teaching you about different stocks and different strategies as you grow in your investment knowledge. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I appreciate you. Shoot me a message on Facebook at Lamar Gunn, or through my website at Gunn Wealth Management. And you can always give our office a call at 888-812-4099.